We have been misled by textbooks for thousands of years. Ancient women were never humble dependents at all. They quietly supported half of the entire ancient human civilization. For a long time, both history textbooks and online science videos keep repeating one stereotyped view. Ancient women had low status, were tightly bound by feudal ethics, had no freedom or voice, and could only survive by relying on men. However, based on top-tier global research on ancient women's history, archaeological discoveries, and historical documents, the real truth is completely different. The vast majority of ancient women possessed professional skills and independent economic value. They even controlled the core lifeline of family operation and cultural inheritance in ancient times. Yet, all their contributions were deliberately erased and completely hidden in official history books. Most people get this wrong. We always generalize the sufferings of elite-class women as the entire history of ancient women. Simply put, most online content confuses a core fact. Feudal ethics, moral constraints, and chastity concepts were only strict shackles for noble and scholar-class women. They never restricted the grassroots civilian women who accounted for more than 90% of the ancient population. This is why almost everyone's understanding of ancient women has been wrong all along. The real life of ancient women was hierarchical, three-dimensional, and completely against public stereotypes. Here's the key point. The living conditions of ancient women varied drastically by social class. Elite noble women did face severe restrictions from rituals and patriarchal rules. They had limited freedom in speech and behavior, no control over their marriage, and bore huge family honor pressure. This is the main prototype of the miserable ancient women we usually see. But grassroots women such as farmers, handicraftsmen, and street vendors lived in a totally different state. They worked in farm fields, spun yarn and woven cloth, ran small businesses, and took on various handmade jobs to create stable economic value. In daily life, they could travel freely, work independently, and socialize actively, enjoying far more freedom and discourse power than we have ever imagined. Here is an overlooked thousand-year detail. Ancient human civilization managed to thrive and continue for thousands of years, largely thanks to women's invisible contributions that were never recorded in official history. In ancient times, without universal education, industrial production, or standardized skill inheritance systems, generations of ancient women took charge of spinning, tailoring, food processing, wine and tea making, and handmade craft production, supporting the basic economy of the agricultural civilization. Meanwhile, they undertook family enlightenment education, family tradition inheritance, and aesthetic cultivation, passing down life experience, etiquette culture, and survival wisdom from generation to generation. To put it simply, the vitality, inheritance, and stability of ancient civilization were all rooted in women's silent dedication. This truth applies to global ancient civilizations, including ancient Greece and Rome. Upper-class noble women were confined to domestic life and banned from public affairs, while grassroots civilian women and female slaves always undertook basic social production and service work. Throughout thousands of years of evolution, the rise and fall of women's social status was never a simple story of gender oppression. It was an inevitable result of the development of productivity, private ownership, and social division of labor. After the decline of matriarchal society, men took charge of military, political, and public affairs due to physical advantages, while women focused on family production and cultural inheritance. It was a reasonable division of labor under the limitations of ancient productivity, rather than a simple opposition between strong and weak genders. Once you understand this logic, you will stop judging ancient people by modern gender standards and deny ancient women's value with biased historical records. Ancient women were never bystanders or appendages of civilization. They were creators of grassroots economy, inheritors of crafts and culture, and maintainers of family civilization. There are barely any videos online that interpret this history objectively and comprehensively without extreme prejudice. This rare and in-depth analysis breaks thousand-year-old stereotypes and restores the real civilization story of ancient women. Make sure to save this video to discover the hidden half of human civilization history. In the long river of history, men left behind military achievements, political power, and glorious historical records, while women left behind civilized vitality, craft inheritance, humanistic aesthetics, and ethnic continuity. Those ordinary ancient women without famous names or legendary deeds supported the foundation of ancient human civilization with lifelong perseverance and hard work. The so-called gender constraints in ancient times were essentially the limitations of backward productivity, not inherent weakness of women. From ancient grassroots women who silently inherited civilization to modern independent and confident women, thousands of years of civilization evolution have made women's value seen, respected, and recognized. To audiences around the world, what other remarkable achievements of ancient women have been buried by history? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section.